trouble dealing with them. Alliance, they're used to heartbreaking losses this year, and so they've gotten a lot of practice against it. Virtus Pro, not so much. Only at TI.
Of all the teams, though.
You're getting quite bro. I think the heads are having an effect on us, right?
Yeah.
The
We'll
Jakiro head on
next
you,
time.
we have to trade them, see if it works the other way around.
You can't split Jakiro's head.
That's true.
Yeah.
2 for 1.
I think the
point with
heads
that is that they've got
that one.
really, really good
The
dealing with
Jakiro
it. Now
head
they're
on
one of
you.
the best teams at coming back after a loss. Virtus Pro, this is going to be the testing ground for them. Did
Sure.
they learn from last year?
Well, and also we've seen it in the groups. You know, they were under pressure. Day 1 under pressure. Day 2 under pressure. Day 3 under pressure. All right, day 4, guys. We've got to qualify for them, and they did it.
They love nothing more than shutting up people who are talking about them, right? That is Virtus Pro's
we don't
favorite thing.
play enough heroes.
Yeah.
Oh, let's just play every hero, then pick every hero.
Exactly.
We don't ban properly. Oh, let's just ban everything from it. We can't win from behind. Oh, we win from behind.
I like what they did here. They brought 2 coaches, so they can blame 2 people if something goes wrong. So they actually have Arziku as their old coach, and they have a new guy from Gambit.
Yeah.
Inside the mind
Do they
of
just
a cost.
flip a coin if they get knocked out? All right,
Who do we blame?
Who's getting cut? All right.
More options for blame. And PSG, obviously, quite calm right now, Lyrical. Come back out. I know it's home crowd and the pressure's still there, but they coped perfectly well with it game 1. No reason to suspect they wouldn't in game 2.
No, definitely. I think that this is a team that that understands the feeling of loss, but also how to come back from it. And the biggest issue would maybe be coming back from a win. That's not as hard. That's a lot more simple to do.
Yeah, definitely easy
Coming back from a win. Exactly. Oh,
Is that a thing?
Oh, how do we do that again?
I'm not sure that's a thing.
No, it's not. But just run the same draft. Let's run it back. Let's see what they do. If I'm them right now, the other thing about it is that their draft worked exactly how they thought it would. I think that they were ready for that early aggression and then sort of absorbed it, and now we're going to come back again and do the exact same thing.
It's also what they've shown in the past, right? I mean, they just Tidehunter again, right? Gyrocopter again. Nothing too surprising there. So stick with what works.
LGD played really well around the timings of these big ulti cooldowns. The Silencer ulti, the Brewmaster, one of them is on cooldown. They go into Roche, but they take objectives, and the second Roche was crucial. 3 buybacks. This is what VP loves to do, especially when they have a Silencer. Solo was the guy who invented it. Buyback, use global silence, go in, bait some BKBs. But this game, it did not happen. And after the second Roche, it was just everything fell apart because they didn't get you buy back to get Aegis and the cheese, and they didn't get any of those.
Yeah, tough game all round. They've definitely got to switch things up in this second game as we head towards the draft, obviously, momentarily. I want to talk about Arme. Doesn't always get the project. We talk about maybe a lot, we talk about Rams and everything, but Arme had an amazing group stage. He had the least amount of deaths of any player in the group stage, and it was by quite a distance as well. Just 26 deaths in the whole of the group stage.
He had a lot to prove, I think. A lot of people were questioning last year, obviously, in the grand finals. There were a lot of people that were blaming him, I think unfairly so. And in the end, he's coming out here showing, I still got what it takes. There's a reason that people emulate my style the world over, and he's owning with it. So, yeah, I'm super big Ame fan. I think that just needs to keep doing what he's doing, definitely.
He has the least deaths because he played faces for it 5 times, so you can time walk. We shouldn't take that into
You're not supposed to reveal the inner secrets of how and why, Lacoste. What are you, some sort of analyst?
Nah, I'm just here to have fun.
You're on the wrong panel right now, buddy. Wait until later. Come out with the analysty things later.
We can promote them.
Promote? Is that a promotion?
I think so.
Oh.
Promotion
except for the promotion for the analyst. For the host, though, the desk gets much smaller.
Right.
First TI, very little.
Well, we don't want to get too carried away.
The big head kind of a deal.
He had a good group stage and some multicast stuff. We don't want to get too big.
I'm jealous of the beard, though. I think we all are.
Yeah, I would love a beard like that.
Yeah.
A beard like that would be amazing. I can't do that. You've got the same issue with me.
Yeah,
I get the patches.
Well, this is actually just grey hair.
Is it grey?
Yeah, that's just grey.
Dude, that's worrying.
I know. Don't worry about it, though.
He's just a silverback.
He's going to bring attention to it.
Wait, what's worse, grey hair or the ginger hair on the beard?
Oh, definitely the ginger. Definitely the ginger.
Is it? Really?
He's distinguished.
Oh, it looks good.
Yeah.
Looks good. You're very clean shaven. I like that. We've stuck together.
I don't have a choice.
Really?
Yeah. Try and go for that. It doesn't look good.
Is it like a year on and you're just like, I've got something there?
I'm starting Movember, actually, about 3 weeks ago.
That sounds
beautiful.
good. That sounds good. Right, we're gonna have fun all the way through the international 2019. We hope you enjoy our panels, but the more serious stuff, the more analytical stuff, they are on the panel for game number 2.
PSG.LGD versus Virtus Pro.
That's
Game
right, Red Eye.
2.
That's right, Red Eye. Mom said it's my turn on the draft panel, and we're going to take it away. Brewmaster, one of the unpicked heroes previously. VP brings it out. Now, in a main stage event, doesn't really pan out for them very well. What do you think was the issue, Purge?
It just came down to LGD playing extremely well. They knew what their opponents had. There was a lot of good kills that VP secured, but they have to... they just have to like delay until the late game, because at some point the Sven was amazing in that match, like the other guys talked about, like the Sven cleave against the Necro spawns, and especially the Sven cleave against the brew split. Like his brew split, he was aiming for this like mid-game timing. He bought Vlad's, he bought a medallion, I think. He didn't even go for, I don't think, Blink Dagger. And at some point, once his brew split gets cleared, it's like all of VP's oomph just gets deleted from the fight.
I mean, to add to that, I just want to point out that when your chair came up, I was kind of expecting, there's like this expectancy that, okay, now he's going to be in the same height as the others.
You guys dwarf me in both Dota knowledge and height, but LGD and VP dwarf us in both.
That's true.
On this panel, the Dota knowledge is directly proportional to height.
Is it really?
Oh, okay.
Yes. So right now the table knows
what do you
about
like?
as much.
Do you like 50% of us, or
10
that would be
remaining.
generous at best.
So the table is like 4K.
5 seconds remaining.
This is a legend era, a legend tier desk, and you guys are immortal tier players, of course. And PSG.LGD picking out one of the most popular supports. Oh, we're just rolling right through this. And they take one of Virtus Pro's supports. They take the Shadow Demon, VP's most picked hero of the group stage.
it's kind of both teams. I mean, almost every single lineup is happy with the Shadow Demon. Leshrac is banned in the first phase, so
10 seconds
LGD
remaining.
can't grab that as their quick one too. And Gyro also being gone means they got to go with something new.
5 seconds
We had a
remaining.
game with VP in the group stage. They played Roger on the Elder Titan. He was kind of a sponge in that game. He died countless times, it felt like, but VP still ended up grabbing the win. I think it was against Fnatic game 1. One of the really important wins that got them to the stage. So probably going back to that because they felt like, okay, if we can have a game where Roger is not shining on the Elder Titan and we can still win, this might be something to revisit, and stealing the Gyro away is obviously great. I thought maybe we were going to see a Mirana from LGD in this slot with the Shadow Demon, but I don't know how much they've even played it here. It's been a hero mainly other
10
teams have been
seconds
favoring as
remaining.
an overall.
FY definitely had a breakout performance on it in the group stage,
5
but it
seconds
hasn't been
remaining.
necessarily one of their comfort heroes.
The Tide pick, we saw it last game. I thought it was extremely effective, especially against the Dazzle strat. Like, how disrupting it is to know that, like, almost everybody that's within cast range is going to get stunned if they don't have BKBs active. It really was a big deal multiple times. Chalice's ultimates were effective consistently. He was like the stun follow-up with his carry, and they know that they're going to have a decent laning stage because Tide can lane against a variety of heroes and can transition well.
They use Tide for something that very few heroes can perform in the game right now, which is they use him as a wall. So if VP want to push towers, they plant Chalice there as just a problem.
Yeah,
and when it comes to Roche, right? VP were trying to Roche, and Chalice would just blink in, anchor smash, and run out. Get information, buy time, outlast cooldowns, and then they could
10
fight.
seconds
So
remaining.
they're very conscious about how to use Tide in this way, and because of that, I think it would be
seconds
really cool
remaining.
to see VP grab something that stops Tide in his tracks. Grab a break, or grab something like Disruptor, who can catch him in Static Storm, so he's like consistently silenced throughout the kill. And they can get something going, but of course they are playing into a save.
So if he is aggressive in those push moments, they can actually have a way to turn that into a team fight for VP's favor.
Especially at Roche, right? If you have the Disruptor and the Tide blinks in, and that's how you try to counter Roche fights, you can just Static Storm him in the pit and Kinetic Field him and get a fight going where Ravage is not a factor. But of course in this game there is the Shadow Demon save you have to work around, so it's definitely not easy whatsoever, but they need to not let Chalice have this high of an impact in the game, I feel, and I think that's why LGD rate this hero so highly. There's two heroes for me that Chalice stands out on right now. One of them is the Enchantress that got banned. Also huge Chalice hero last TI, coincidentally, and the Tide Hunter. So, if VP have to ban all these other heroes, Chalice will get one of those too every time. It'd just be cool to see him forced into another role, or another hero.
So we have one potential solution to make a Tidehunter scared. We have the potential for an instant Hex on the field now. Lion selected by VP. This is one of the solutions to maybe make sure that whenever you're getting initiated on by LGD, you have some options to make sure that your entire team is not getting ravaged.
Yep.
It
a
can
zero
be
damage
iffy
stun.
though, because
5
Chalice has been
seconds
staying in
remaining.
really good positions
Oh, yes.
consistently, like high grounds, trees, always ready to hit the back line and follow perfectly. So I feel like if he places his Ravage really well, especially against like an Elder Titan in a line that's iffy, because a lot of times Elder Titan's going to be channeling his Echo Stomp. If that gets interrupted, like that 4 position support, useless basically. He can throw out his Earth Splitter, but I just feel like Tide, the way that LGD uses it, they're very good at finding good team fights and ravaging at the right time. Other teams that pick Tide, if they can't take good fights, it's never gonna look like a good hero, but LGD really makes it shine. So I'm a little unsure about the support duo so far.
Well, do you think it's better than the silencer that they first faced last
Yes,
game?
because that goes in the same problem. If it's harder for you to take team fights against your opponent, then Global Silence is not going to feel good either. So it's one of those team fight advantages that VP's just not play against.
And again, it's comfort. VP had a great game with Solo and Light. That was actually the same game. Elder Titan had a lot of deaths, and Solo ended up being the position 4 and had a huge impact on that win. The difference being, though, that in that game, VP specifically counterpicked a core with the Lion. That was a first phase Storm from Fnatic in that game. This time around, Lion isn't really particularly good against any of these two heroes. The Hex is alright against Tide because it's a 0 damage stun, so you don't proc Kraken, but against Shadow Demon, I'm pretty happy to play against Lion. You have the save against both of his stuns, and now the Kunkka as well can be used to make heroes survive this possible burst that Lion can provide. And
that's a good point, and I think that's basically what VP grabbed the Lion for, because it combos well with Elder Titan. Elder Titan does the magic resistance reduction. Lion Finger and Stun is going to feel a lot stronger, even if he's not very far on the back line. So, like you said, the Kunkka boat's going to delay damage they take. The disruption will potentially stop that burst, but if not for the boat rum, yeah, it looks like they have a burst damage lineup building up so far. Okay, here's their team fight hero, right? Lane-wise, it's not the strongest hero, but if he has a good laning stage, you can cascade in some damage items. Your Rolling Boulder is one of the strongest teamfight ultimates in the game because it just causes disruption against heroes like Shadow Demon or even Kunkka. Just keep interrupting them with stuns and let your team do the damage.
And it's sort of an equivalent for the Tidehunter on this VP draft, that you need someone who can be okay soaking up damage, and if you get a good Shield Crash proc, you will have plenty of damage reduction from his second spell.
Yep, this is his first skill, or Swashbuckle. You can move, but do a bunch of little slashes. If you build the right items, you can do a ton of damage with it. But the big one is his ultimate here. Turns into a ball, bounces around, does tons of stun disruption. People are just... It's very difficult to fight into Pangolier if he gets his ulti off.
And look who decides to show up.
There we go. The one concern I have with this Pangolier pick is that I think when LGD are showing both Tide and Kunkka, these heroes, there should be some overlap between what heroes are good against these two in the game and in lane, right?
Is that because they're similar?
Yeah, they're both melee strength heroes, right? And you know the Tide is going on Chalice. You know the Kunkka is going on Maybe, unless they pull some complete curveball and put it safe lane or
support maybe.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is,
true. It could have been a 4. That's a really good point. At the time,
at the time, yes.
At the time, Kunkka would have been a 4 with Shadow Demon, and LGD would play that. That's a really good point. Because I was already thinking, okay, how can LGD or how can VP try to get a similar start to before, where they punish Somnus in mid, get a good counter matchup, and try to go from there. And I don't think Pangolier wins against Kunkka. I think at best it's a draw. Like, that's got to be the best possible outcome. And Gyro against Kunkka, I think that's also kind of a draw. So.
So at this point, it's all but confirmed that FY is most likely going to be on the Mirana, X-Nova on the Shadow Demon, Chalice on the Tidehunter. Now we just need to see how LGD decide to rearrange their mid and carry roles. VP's obviously expecting this to be a mid Kunkka as they ban out the Faceless Void.
Yep.
That was the hero that Ame was using effectively. It's very good with Mirana as well. Chronosphere, you get a guaranteed 5-second arrow. Basically means every time your Chronosphere's off cooldown, you're gonna kill somebody. And because VP doesn't have any defensive saves right now, other than like Elder Titan hitting a backline or Pangolier doing the same thing, it could be very dangerous when they already have a team fight advantage. Because they have very good heroes for forcing their opponents to stick around or somebody to get left behind and die with the X. So VP's got to have maybe mobile heroes, try to pick fights in a safe way, or they can grab a save, but most of the good ones are gone.
Is there any reason you wouldn't pick Sven right now, again?
10 seconds
on LGD
remaining.
side?
Yeah.
It depends on if you want a long fight or a short fight, I think. The way that Kunkka's choose to build, like if he goes for a Radiance sort of build, then maybe you want a long extended fight and you go for something that, I don't know, maybe like a Leshrac. But they want to go fast. They want to go real fast. Phantom Assassin picked up as the core role for LGD.
I like that a lot better because it's a little bit more bursty. He's going to hit the backline, be able to kill a line really easily, Elder Titan very easily once he gets BKB. And he can also jump around and dodge things like Rolling Boulder. Sven would have had a disadvantage in the early game pre-BKB against that.
The thing is that both those heroes will have to be very, very wary of the disarm from Pangolier.
It's true.
So,
good
shot.
one of Phantom Assassin's biggest weaknesses is the laning stage. She has a lot of weaknesses against a lot of heroes and lanes, but they're probably expecting this to be an offlane Pangolier who's also not a strong laner, so because of that they can get away with this. But VP could put this Pangolier on no one. He's a very adept Pangolier mid player, and they could pick the final hero for Pasha, who can defeat this PA in lane and be good in the game. I kind of like the look of maybe Doom. You could Doom out the Tide. You're pretty good against PA in lane. You buy a chainmail, or maybe you're lucky and you devour an armor creep, and you can play that lane together with either Elder Titan or Lion, and just have that high impact later on in the game.
I like that idea. Maybe they want another tanky stunner hero potentially that's going to lane well against the PA. Because right now with the things like having X Torrent into Arrow, for example, it's tons of stun duration. Having a more tanky hero might really help out against that kind of a combo. Because I've seen a lot of games where Mirana just wins the laning stage because they're very good at executing the chain stun combos, and there's not much you can do about it.
Oh, it's a mid gyro.
Vintage pick.
So this is something similar. I don't remember what team did it, but they picked a PL with the purpose of blocking arrows with the illusions. I think TB can do the same thing with Conjure Image. It's going to give them the protection against the Mirana arrow combos because you can just use your illusion to block. I think that's what they're going for here, while it also being an up.
Prepare for battle.
You know what's cooking? Ooh!
Ding, ding, mother! Ding, 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 mother!
Oh,
this guy has no chill, man.
I estimate the probability of winning to be 17%.
Something for everything.
Thank you very much, Casey. Yeah, it should be an exciting game too. Great to see the confidence there from RZ coming into this. He truly believes in the Ramses Terrorblade, and as he pointed out, in the past, there's very good reason to believe in it, right? This, back in the day, was the hero that Ramses would just insta-win games. Teams were first phase banning the Terrorblade. It's a bit of a different meta, a bit of a different time. Does it still have the power, and especially against this lineup, to get VP that win?
Whew, not too sure. They have a lot of different solutions for it, though. The high armor, though, on Ramses, on that Terrorblade, definitely very good pick there versus the PA, as well as versus that Titan under the Anchor Smash. Is still going to be annoying because you reduce a lot of that damage, but you won't take as much, at least, from it. So that's going to be a neat one. And they should feel pretty confident, too, right? Ramses, they've won how many majors based on the back of Terrorblades and stuff like that. So we're going to see how it plays out here, too, because they do pick up Pango as well, which is a little concern for me.
Okay.
Having that hero, giving PA what could potentially be a very strong lane, could be one of the things that I'm a little concerned for them there.
And there is going to be some struggle for the Terrorblade early on, right, surely? I mean, I'm seeing here as like the Shadow Demon, the Mirage. There is this magical burst that a Terrorblade in the early portions of a game is very vulnerable to.
And look at the way that they're playing the lane already. You can tell that they want to go for some type of play immediately on Ramses, but I love the point that Kevin brought up. We saw that in the group stages. I think the PL pick, like he was mentioning, you have your Conjure Image, so at least you have some type of solution to block out those arrows. They played solo. He wanted to go for a courier snipe, but they know.
Keeping it hidden there.
And they've actually forced Ramses to TP to the tier 1 here, because he was getting zoned out from the wave, so that's can be a little bit scary. If you do actually get brought down as this Terrorblade now, you won't have that TP to return to the lane. So Ramses, they're gonna have to secure him, make sure he does not get killed. Mid, we see those first 4 creeps being secured by no one there.
Yeah, against the Kunkka with his right click, that's an easy job.
No. Animation though, super good on Gyrocopter, pretty much instant, and you have the missile to zone him away. Doesn't get that deny there, though. But overall, Kunkka versus that gyrocopter, we've seen, I remember it was Team Secret, right? Last year, they loved it. This was before it was nerfed, of course, with that Tidebringer, but overall, the way that Rum, the interaction of Rum versus Black Cannon versus gyrocopter overall is very strong. Able to pretty much counteract the entire flak, and then your team can go for a fight when Gyro doesn't have it if you get the Rum off during it.
We heard, obviously, the confidence of RZ, but I think you look at the other side, that 5th pick PA, that just radiances sort of confidence from PSG.LGD. You're picking this PA, a hero that is pretty squishy. There's a lot of magical burst against, but I think you're saying, well, we have got the Kunkka with the Rum, and we have got X-Nova with the Disruption. We can afford to play this hyper-aggressive sort of glass cannon carry because of our lineup and because of how strong it is.
It's like they've got the double saves, and then they also have it's like a BKB timing. Sure, in these type of parts of the game, he'll be a little bit weak. Arrow just off the mark. But once he gets BKB, he's going to reign supreme, right? Who's the only one he really has to worry about when he has BKB? Is just the Terrorblade.
Very fine, Torrent won't save it. BP. They're able to get in on the middle with Solo coming forward with that stun. His first blood is secured, and no one will be given that edge that he was already getting in the CS, as you say. He's playing this matchup perfectly.
This was one of the heroes that we've said a long time ago also, that VP, they were one of the first ones to really start bringing the mid gyrocopter when they were running it with Roger Earthshaker. When they first brought Roger along, they played this matchup so many times, just having that gyro being very aggressive in the mid lane. So 15-3 start, also the Pango, 15-4 start. Very impressive already for VP. As also, no, X-Nova will go down.
Solo. These moves from top lane to bottom lane, making sure that both of these cores really do have a beautiful opening in the first few minutes.
It's going to look to be a very early Javelin coming out for Pasha, based off how much he's able to get done in this top lane here with Solo so far.
See now, a bit of a turn. Solo is going to be able to walk himself away.
You mentioned how much magical burst there is on VP. Also, you have to throw in ET, right? They have that extra natural order that will really amplify everything together when they will be able to have those timings. That's the poisons. We'll stack up onto Pasha, but it's only level 1.
Yeah, that importance of the BKB on DA definitely amplified this game. But it's gonna take time. We'll see what sort of a pace VP are able to play with, as they themselves also likely to be making moves as 4 and trying to buy space for Ramses on the map. As their other 4 heroes can definitely afford to make aggressive plays. Bottom, they go with the Starstorm.
Arrow off the mark again.
Getting burst low, and indeed FY. Maybe watching a few too many BSJ streams. I'm joking, right?
He's going for the triple leap. He wants Roger. He gets
right there. He's watching BSJ streams. FY, there we go. Compliment for you as well.
Is Brian play Mirana?
I mean, I wouldn't call it play.
Come on. What did he do to you?
See bottom. And here's the meta for a bit of a show onto Chalice. He's tied. Can walk it off. FY's.
No leap.
Well, in fact, Solo got the setup with the Hex. Roger with the stop. Solo, he's on a killing spree. This Lion. He's everywhere.
He's got Tranquil Boots.
He's killed up.
Stick.
He's killed mid. He's killed top. He's killed bottom. He's making the magic happen, Solo.
He's really securing this early game for them so far here. And immediately walking toward mid lane. No hesitation. He's got both spells available when he has his stick. Do they have level 6 on no one? Not just yet. But he will already prepare the missile. And here comes Solo. No one is pretty low here, though.
Somas has got a lot of HP to work with. With a drag back.
Nice hex.
Torrent is going to be missed due to that disable from Solo throwing the combo off top lane. Arme and X-Nova. We had to push over toward the rune spot and claim Pasha's life, whilst he's left alone and Solo's trying to help out mid.
Yeah, he was left alone for quite a while and was still doing pretty well in those last hits, so they dive forward and really make sure that they can push Pasha out of there. As it looks like Somnus actually might hit level 6 before no one does in that mid lane. Has fully recovered. A couple last hits behind, but still doing just fine in that matchup. Arrow immediately onto that catapult, so that push.
He didn't miss that one.
That time he didn't miss. Yeah, sometimes we see like the push come out with those catapults with the Terrorblade. This time definitely not going to be the case as X-Nova.
I was going to say they're chasing this one for sure. Swashbuckler won't quite kill him.
No Javelin procs, but
he's hunted. And he's found him. It's going to be a kill for Pasha, making the plays with that Javelin picked up.
Looks like FY, who wants to make the first rotation himself onto mid lane. It is spotted immediately by that VP bottom ward. So no one will probably play careful here. Also having a chainmail. He's kind of tanky. With that double Wraith Band chainmail, sitting at that 17 armor when he's standing next to the tower. Still playing a little bit safe as he did spot the move. And it looks like he's going to make his own move. As he picks up his boots from the courier, he's like, okay, I don't want to sit mid. I can probably set up a kill easily onto Ame up top. He is also spotted by a ward during this rotation, though.
So they can get this opening. But Something's coming. X-Nova will slow down the move. With the eruption, they have the combo. FY's trying to turn it out. Jumps in, gets one for it. Gets a second crit with the Star Stop. That's the kill for PSG.LGD. As they read the moves of VP. FY there with the backup to turn things in their favor, and they get that gyro out the game.
He saw FY bottom, pick up that haste rune. FY quickly just darts through the jungle. Now
he's looking for more.
They want Roger.
Should be able to have a good shot at chasing this down. As Roger, he has a TP, but FY's got that arrow. If Roger tries to play his way out of this, I don't think there's any escape for the ET.
They're cutting him off as well. X-Nova cuts off the other route. Roger really trying to just play around
the lane. There was the distractions there. Ame is left alone. So Roger's kind of happy with that. He says, I mean, you're spending a lot of time looking for me, but your carries died. So if Roger dies, it's a good trade. VP's happy.
Gonna get it, yeah, but like you said, a very nice play there as Pasha gets a whole... Pasha gets, what, 2
kills Ame
from it, and he kills Ame?
That's going to be Arcane Stun, so Pasha's in the lane now. It's very hard for Ame to farm against.
And it's not even just Ame, it's like the 2 supports are forced to spend, what, 30, 40 seconds chasing around that Elder Titan, which means, look at the Terrorblade Rams. He's able to farm freely versus Chalice as well. That pressure being alleviated off the map. And they're going to those stacks.
There goes Somnus. That 7, he's got a lot of damage. The Hex tries to throw off the combo, but it won't be the case. Still able to drag him back and get that pick off. And enter solo streak. Gives a little tasty bounty early on for Somnus. Overall, even net worth. All cores really finding some action. He's the one difference being solo stepping a little further ahead.
Yeah.
I didn't ahead of the supports.
Biggest winner is definitely Pasha. A Pangolier having this great of a start in the game. There's a reason we don't see this hero picked too often, especially not in that 3-position role, as we've heard.
It's
not a strong
easy to do
laner.
this.
Yeah, he's having an excellent time. Already Arcane was finished up after that Javelin. Fantastic timing for him. And you see Ame, he has to play a bit afraid up here until he gets rotations.
Yeah, he cannot trade with the Pangolier.
No.
Mid lane. Setups there, FY. Timing perfectly.
Easy.
Be careful how you step up in the lane against this ST, as it's very likely that FY is hiding in the shadows to make the counterplay happen. Pasha playing around with the Rolling Thunder. He knows that all he needs is a swashbuckle to get out of that combo.
Very nicely done there. Just, he knows that he's watching the animation of the Kunkka, waiting to see if he thinks it's a boat, if he thinks it's a torrent, whichever one he believes he can save that Rolling Thunder if he needs to. But holds on to it. So Ame still has to play very careful up here, and he's just going to have to jungle a little bit, being pushed away from the lane. As Ramses has a Terrorblade, you're going to go to jungle at that much faster pace than a PA, as PA does not even have a steroid. None of them on her team can really amplify her, while TV just, your conjure image will always act as your own.
Not at all. And it's going to be a long sort of time for the PA. Same to be said for Terrorblade, but maybe even longer so for the PA until she's active. She's going for the Battle Fury build this game, mid lane. Another setup into the arrow. They're making these combo plays happening. There's a lot of setup for FY to play with this game, and he's not missing arrows anymore.
They have like the 2 best heroes for setting up in the game. Kunkka as well as that Shadow Demon. OD might be the other one that you can argue for, but Pasha is getting surrounded here.
On the ground, he's perfectly executed. As they have to disable to make sure there's no way for him to roll away.
Playing Pango versus Kunkka can be a little difficult sometimes, right? Because you're charging up your Rolling Thunder, and he can actually just use the X to disrupt that one as well, rather than just using the Torrent or that boat. So able to instantly be able to set that one up, and then an arrow immediately to take out the catapult, but they won't be able to transition it into a push in the mid lane. But bottom, looks like they do want to turn that into a push onto this tier 1 tower for PSG.LGD.
LGD with their items, obviously they're all going for big things. There's Somnus also is the double bracelet Radiance build for Kunkka.
That's like the Kunkka build now, it seems. Yeah.
It just makes him so tanky and so hard to deal with in these fights.
Especially when he's playing versus a Terrorblade, right? You're playing versus an illusion-based hero. You want to go for that Radiance on Kunkka.
Radiance on Kunkka, and as I say, the Battle Fury off the air, they will have ways to deal with Ramses' army.
Like Battle for PA. And he's like one of the few heroes. Like, anti-mage and PA feel like they probably just need to if they don't have their own type of steroid. If you don't have a Magnus, you don't have Bloodlust, or they're just giving you that way to farm a lot faster.
You don't think sort of a Deso Rush is... It's just too risky nowadays, one bad fight and you're not coming back into a game?
I think versus a hero like Terrorblade it's not worth it. Versus the other four, sure, but TB has such high natural armor.
With the pullback on to Roger. But it's out, it's going to clip onto Somnus. Pasha's still trying to fight with the supporters. They'll roll it onto X-Nova. Put a dagger on Solo, jump in. It's an easy kill for Arme. These fights now, they're trying to force them, VP, but PSG.LGD, they just turn, they jump, they get these kills. And those early ganks from Solo are just they're miles away. This game has turned around. PSG.LGD making the leading moves, and all three cores benefiting.
They need no one to be the one to making the moves around, but he's probably feeling a bit after that move. He makes the move top and then just dive immediately, gets his game set back heavily. Probably doesn't want to be the one to make moves until he has that drum finished up. So for now, they're going to be a bit limited in their movement, while LGD, they're just cruising back and forth, looking for plays constantly with that Kunkka as well as that Mirana. And they're just constantly setting up, protecting Ame's jungle. The arrow not being thrown out here. Now it's going to get pushed. He's going to get hit.
Good juice for Solo, but still taking a lot of damage. He tries to come in for the turn. The finger F5. Oh, F. Why? I mean, he wanted it.
He did.
I mean, he got the finger. And that's a finger buff for Solo.
Overconfidence. Probably not expecting everybody else to be there, but still. Yeah. Killing himself there for sure. Probably maybe not even getting the kill there. Solo's still pretty tanky for this, like Tranquil Boots as well as his Bracer. Like, this is a line who's gotten a lot done in the early game, like you mentioned. He kind of is the 4th position already at this point for his team. That front line for VP, a little bit concerned for them, right? You look at their heroes and they're fairly squishy on their draft. Like,
that's what Pasha, as long as he gets the Rolling Thunder off,
yeah,
he can sort of be the man to go in.
But there are ways to kill the PA, who's just straight physical damage, which Pangolier does not really like playing versus too much. So they don't really have that best front line because Roger has been relegated now to the 5 position. So their front line is definitely lacking it versus what LGD has, who has the best front liner. They have a Tide Under.
And a Tide Under covered in Kunkka's rum.
Absolutely.
And Kunkka Somnus, 3,300 gold on that relic. It's pretty much there. It's going to be a very fast timing from Somnus this game.
And a fast Battle Fury too. Ame already having 2 pieces. He's only like 1,600 gold away from that Battle Fury.
This is scary for VP. It may only be a 1k lead, but the fact that PSG.LGD are getting this space for these 2 cores, that passing in 2 minutes time and they're turning up with the Battle Fury. I mean, I'll choose stick to just focus on farming for the next time afterwards, but at least with Somnus coming to these fights with a Radiance, it's not going to be easy for VP to take the fights head on.
No, especially because Ramses is not going to be able... Ramses turning up to the fights, there's a lot of control, there's a lot of magic damage for this Terrorblade to deal with. He's not going to be able to just walk in with his illusions doing anything possible because there's Torrents, there's Cleaves, there's Boat, there's the Starstorm, there's so many different instances of damage that can clear out those illusions very quickly. So Ramses' game is going to be tough. They really need to start rallying around the Gyrocopter, and that's what they're going to do. The drum is finished. They've got Maelstrom as well on Pasha. He's looking to see what he can make. I want to see Pasha switch this up though. I think he should go for the mech build in this game. Instead of just, I mean, he has the Maelstrom already done, which is great damage, that magical mixed. But now he's queued up the Aghanims, and like we said, their front line is definitely lacking.
There's smoke from both sides and a moonlight as well from FY to try and set things up. Hunting for Ramses, Illusion in their jungle. They know that Ramses is likely to be nearby, but he's already headed over there, back to there on the map. A Hex will be attempted. Down bottom, but a quick runaway FY with that Ace Rune already popped. Will manage to get himself away from that. So neither side finding much of a catch with these moves, just avoiding one another.
It's actually already going to be a full mech on F1. So we're talking about tankability of LGD with the hood, with a mech on your support Mirana. This is definitely going to cause problems for VP, who do not have anyone matching them.
They're not going to have the damage with that mech and the Kunkkas run these fights.
And the front line too, they just won't have that there for themselves, so they're going to have to be playing a little bit of this farm game.
Ramses needs a lot of time this game.
Yep.
Some of the Battle Fury build and the pace that PSG.LGD themselves probably feel comfortable in playing, we are probably likely to see him get that time. It's just a question of how well does the rest of VP's lineup hold up against these fast item timings of it.
PSG.LGD, they're feeling good right now, right? They don't need to force anything. They're playing on their side of the map. They're the ones getting like this free farm. They're gonna have the Battle Fury finished up. The Radiance gonna be done on K2. Probably when they have Radiance, they're gonna look to take the fights. But
that's
they're feeling
the
very good.
thing I feel. Once they have Radiance and Battle Fury, they can keep up, but they're not too fussed if the fight is forced because of the fact that they can keep one another alive very easily. They have the sustain and they've got the damage.
Yeah, I'll make you just sit in the jungle and then come, you know, typical carry contribution, show up at the end, couple daggers, jump in, clean some people up. See that 55-45 Dota plus probability at the moment here. But definitely feeling for, you look at no one right now in the net worth, he's really starting to get left in the dust. He's that hero they have to rally around when he has BKB, but that's going to take time. He's going to have to act that pseudo frontliner as this gyrocopter versus a PA, which is definitely scary.
And even without the BKB, as we said, there's so many ways that PSG.LGD can keep that PA alive to the point that this Gyro's damage combo shouldn't really be an issue unless there's some sort of way that VP can get to the back lines. Obviously, a good Echo Stomp might be what does it. If he can catch out the supports, catch out X-Nova, and stop those save plays coming in.
Yeah, it's like we're saying, like we're talking about how the VP, the lack of the front line, but they do still pack a punch. They do have a lot of damage if they can keep them controlled, not to get the rum off, not get the mech off. Very likely for that to happen, as this is a very farmed Kunkka who now has the Radiance finished up at the 17-minute mark. 17:38 as he picks it up.
A very, very respectful timing.
Yeah, now they're starting to rally. You see Ame, he's kind of starting to make his way down toward bottom, but just going to be farming, probably stanking Ancients before he does do anything else. I mean, yeah, he just needs to farm.
Bottom tower is under attack.
And they're showing this.
Radiant structures are fortified.
VP, what's the plan? I think I'm pushing out that mid, pushing out that top lane. Not looking to come down for now, and in fact, it's going to be PSG wrapping around, not even towards the mid. Who's there at the moment? It's just the Elder Titan.
Yep.
I'll just come in and try and hold these illusions off the tier 1, keep their tower alive for now.
Right now, it's not the most natural for them to set up for plays. Like we saw in the last game when they played with the Tidehunter, they weren't able to just walk in and take the fights. Maybe with the invis, they can actually look to set up like that. But with the Blink Dagger, with the Tidehunter, was able to get it, they're really going to start just running at VP, just looking to bring every single fight to them. So right now, like I said, a little bit awkward, a little bit of a low period. Both teams continue to try to maximize the farm on the map. Yeah, Ame. Battle Fury finished. Desolator next is going to be the one that's queued up, and then more than likely going to be that BKB that he does need.
It really does just feel like the power, sort of the growth of the heroes on LGD. It's sort of ahead, and it moves at a similar pace.
Look at this wraparound. Solo is hiding.
Ame's pretty deep. They've got the disable, and they've got the threat. They should have him here. And they do. VP, they're able to punish a greedy Ame who pushes out alone and doesn't expect VP to still be hanging around, and that's a big pick off of them.
Solo really putting the team on his back right now in these first, really with all these rotations really from himself. He was just hiding in the tree line there, waiting for somebody to step too far forward. Very nicely set up there by VP as they're able to slow down Ame, slow down that farm, allow Ramses to get better timings than him. As he's got the med, he's getting farmed.
Bro's certainly there for VP, but still yet to see no one be able to get involved in any of the action. 0-1-1 on that mid gyro.
All just because of that first rotation, it puts you off of making like all your moves.
Yeah, it slowed his entire game down.
Yeah.
Top tower is under attack.
More than likely, unless X-Nova really pushes forward, X-Nova will. Just walks up onto the high ground casually. So they'll get themselves through. And it still is lagging him, so they're going to rely a lot on Pasha for damage, it looks like, and then he's queuing up the mech afterwards. So, like we were saying, he still needs to act as that frontliner as a tangle. He needs armor.
Do you think for VP to feel like there is any sense of urgency, or do you feel that they're saying, well, Ramses, we've got the Ramses Terrorblade?
That's what it looks like, right? They're probably like, we have Ramses Terror, we have a Terrorcopter who also scales really well, and a Pango who scales really well, and a PT Natural Order. The Natural Order is always one thing that we're going to have to watch, especially when you're playing versus PA, one of the higher physical armor heroes. If you are able to actually get next to him as an ET, the damage will definitely be there. But that evasion always is going to be a bit of a frustration for the Terrorblade.
Dire are scanning.
21 minutes in 7. Indeed, PSG.LGD is
Radiant's bottom tower
just feel
is under
both teams
attack.
happy with the farming approach to this one.
Right, they're all getting good pacing. They're all getting good timings of their items, right? Like Somnus is getting close to BKB. They got Blink on Chalice.
They got the Deso.
He continues farming. Deso now finished up. Maybe now we see a fight because they've got the Blink on Chalice. That was the big one last time where they're like, I don't have the greatest initiations. With that, they will. But like we said, they're approaching some big items still anyway soon. But yeah, we see them grouping up, and this is likely that smoke with the Deso, with that Blink.
I mean, Deso. You find yourself on top of Solo after he's dropped out a Hex and a stun. He's dead in a couple of hits.
You get yourself with 1 or 2 kills, you can just go straight into the rush pit, and then you're going to be playing with an Aegis advantage, and the map is going to get smaller and smaller. So let's see if they can actually catch anyone on me here. Jump forward, Roger. Was that no crits? He just died to like the regular attacks there, it seems.
I believe so. Just the damage of the Deso. It's terrifying. VP, they've got to hold them base. As PSG.LGD, they're waiting right outside.
Ramses,
he's going to step forward. There's the set. To look for them, PSG. They just did a power level that's hard for VP to stand toe to toe with at the moment.
And the BKB is down for no one. They're committing forward for it. They're dropping.
They are going to have the other coming down, but a jump over from Army will dodge it. Another X marks there. No one's going to. As they take out the Gyro, they take everything here from VP, pushing down.
Army once more.
He's not even done looking for a crit, won't get it. So Roger gets the chance to stomp. But you know that Arme's going to still maybe try and chase. Now he's playing it sensible. It's a scout. He doesn't want to throw things away back towards mid. LGD low. A boat will come in, give some of the rum to Somnus as he'll look for the TP out. Ramses, can he find him? No, X-Nova. Two cores get out alive, and X-Nova in a similar fashion to game one. He'll die, but he saves his cause.
Such a beautiful smoke there coming into play there. LGD, they smoke, they get a base ward, they get all the information that they needed, all the information they wanted. They see where everybody on VP is, and Ramses just shows himself outside just a little bit too far. That Blink Dagger from Chalice able to get that clean up, all that extra damage and control. And we saw it, Gyrocopter, like no one, he walked in, he pops his flag, he hits like everybody with the full flag and call down. A mech gets popped from the Mirana, and everybody's...
It really is at this point, all the damage just hit back up with that mech.
Yep. Now they have the Greaves finished up too. They're starting to get BKBs as well on Somnus. And you're going to imagine Ame will also be approaching that one quite soon. VP, they've got to make something big happen here with this smoke versus that Ravage being on cooldown. Will they be able to?
So there's aware.
20 seconds until Ravage is back online. VP not looking like they're going to be able to actually find anything here. The wallet is not up. So LGD, PSG.LGD will back up. They will be perfectly fine with all of this, as next timing for them is that BKB on Ame, so they're going to keep controlling the map. And we see that base ward placed down. They feel so confident to do whatever they please.
Radiant's bottom tower.
They know they can move in immediately. And Ramsey's not getting the chance to hit a single hero in that fight. And there's, you say, flat cannon. It doesn't even look like they've been hit.
Yeah.
They're back up to full HP.
It's the combo of the both. We mentioned it during like the draft, right at the end of it there. That Kunkka versus the Gyrocopter too. The RUM was applied on absolutely everybody. So Sharpango's coming in, he's shield crashing, swashbuckling all over the place. But that mitigation really coming in.
And when Ame has the BKB, they're not going to be able to touch him.
Mm-hmm. Really does feel like that.
He's level 20, BKB. I mean, he's got the money for it. He's got it done.
He can TP back and pick it up if they want to play it like that. Like Somnus can ask him and then bring him. They're just going to back up, it looks like here.
They've even got the Vlads on Chalice, allowing him to get that life still on the PA.
They're ready to fight, though.
Everything coming together for LGD.
Yep, the perfect timing.
What do they do? What do they do?
They look like they're smoked up, looking, but it's still difficult. Ramses, like, he's got Manta, he's got Scotty, he's tanky, but as we saw in that last fight, there's just a devastating amount of control. And even if he's tanky like this, you still have to go Soul Catcher. You have Manta to remove it, but if you don't have your Manta up and you're Soul Catchered, you are going to be a lot squishier if they get a wraparound.
Starts to try and have a bit of a run. They saw heading away at Chalice, but immediate disengage with the Moonlight Shadow. They'll make it. Finding Snuggle with the combo, and again, but everybody else should get out. Empire is still with that Moonlight Shadow coverage to allow him to walk back to safety, and it could never, because then you know as VP that everything's going to plan for LGD. If it's only the Shadow Demon you've killed, you've lost the fight.
Every single time, it does seem, even every single time, not in this game and the last game, all of the situations.
It's just down to positioning, right? They always have the right person in place to die.
And they know how to, in that fight too, that's a bit of a difficult one. They're like, hey, we're strong, but that type of fight engaging in that area would kind of surround the best way for us to take it. Now they're getting a better type of surround here. As VP, they're split up. Ame is already prowling around with this blur, and Roger, he spotted.
They're gonna find him.
He's gonna be a quick and easy one for them.
He's gonna try for the sum. He's not gonna get a chance to do so. With that gush, armor reduction, Desolator, Ame can make quick work of whoever he finds.
And there's that situation we talked about. If they get one of those big kills, they can look to just commit into this Roche pit as they will kill it super fast. And taking the fight around here for VP, sure. They've got Pango, but their EQ is dead. He is the crucial one around that Roche pit. Oh, LGD, they're really running away with this one now.
It's starting to look like a bit of a repeat of game one. Once they get the advantage, they do not let go of it.
Yeah, I mean, it really is very similar to the last one, right? They've killed Ame once, but before they've really only killed X-Nova again. As Ramses really needs that BKB timing for him is going to be completely necessary, but is it going to be enough? Is it going to be enough to actually do the damage? Very similar to that last time. Sure, he's got these ways to protect himself, but will they actually be able to kill anybody on the side of PSG.LGD? As we see some, interesting, little bit of innovative item pickups. Ame, he hasn't chosen to finish it yet, but as we queued up,
the
which
Aghanim's PA.
The refresh, as you know, if you get a kill, it refreshes all of your abilities, including that blur, so you can keep hopping around inside the fights.
Blur's cooldown goes down as well.
Yep.
And blur now, it dispels. It's a blood for everything. Mid lane, get the roll. They should get this kill. Get one. Question is, how much are they going to lose in return? Will we just solo?
That's pretty good if they're able to disengage off of that one. They forced a BKB as well from Somnus. So what the important one, I guess, is instead of wanting to go for a different another dispel, now he's going to have the blur to dispel that reflection every time inside the team fights. Can be a little bit annoying, not the super amazing, but dispelling the reflection, dispelling the disarm from the Pango, that looks pretty neat.
And it makes the blur instant.
I mean, that's actually pretty cool. I haven't gotten to play.
So I guess what you see a Sunder coming your way, you've disappeared.
Yeah.
They've got to have the vision ready. Well, I know even that, right? You're just gone.
I mean, that's I'm really intrigued to see it.
I mean, he's going to get it at such a good timing as well with the beginning that he's had to this.
No one. He's going to grab them. He's going to force the BKB.
I will keep him safe for a little bit. He is just going to have to TP out. He's lucky that Ame wasn't around, so they didn't quite have the physical damage to fight through that BKB. But again, no one with the BKB usages, he's just not able to get much done at all. It's having to be a BKB and a runaway. He doesn't have the items. He doesn't have the damage. There's not a lot that he can offer to the team fight.
Absolutely true. There's, of course, more items being picked up. LGD, they're picking up all these solutions. They have a Lotus Orb, not only to remove the reflection, but like you said, the Sunder. I don't know. Do we know if that interaction was fixed as well with the Sunder, right?
That's how it's intended, to be honest.
How it works, you can still Lotus Orb through the BKB Sunder, so they have to watch out for that for Ramsey.
We'll find out in this game. Who's changed? Yes, that's the terminology. Thank you.
For the people who don't know, of course, if you are BKB'd on Terrorblade and you Sunder a Lotus Orb, you still will not get your HP back.
The HP stayed the same. At least that was how it was indeed in the group stages.
In the group stages, yeah.
Dire are
I did test it the other day and it was still like that.
VP, they're scanned up. They might actually find no one here. They're just throwing the boat out. They really want him. They got the vision of him for a second. No one.
Fuck the BKB. TP's going to be better than the second. But TP straight away should be fine.
It's got to be really close.
He just had that BKB to get out back inside the jungle of VP. Roger's been found, but Ramses going to try and turn Ame. He's got the BKB. Wants to try and fight this a little bit, or at the least make sure that he gets out. He will be fine then, not able to again deal with these VP.
I didn't know BKB piercing anything, pretty much. as he plays it safe too, right? Some situations you're like, hey, I'm gonna die and just use my BKB, but he knows how strong he is at that point. He doesn't need to play like that. As his PA is solo, we'll walk up. He's gonna get purged.
Got the disable onto Army to try to get himself out of vision.
But they want blood.
It's back there. Set up. In Army goes and a crit for the finishing blow.
12,000 gold lead, over a 15,000 experience lead, and just the bucks continue to tick forward in LGD's favor. 82% win rate now for them. They're just keeping the map dominance.
Ramsey's farm. He's still on par with Arme, but what does it amount to? What can this Terrorblade do? Has all their hopes rest on Ramsey's.
Ooh, nice little play there by Maybe. Turns off the Radiance before the reflection actually does come, so it doesn't even burn his teammates at all. Small little thing. Nice slow siege.
Successful in tier 3. Falling very low with the illusions. They'll get it. The base is opened up and serve the shrines.
They're going to send a missile back. It'll clean up by illusions. And Ame's Aegis will get reclaimed. They're going to back up. And they might not fully back up here, as if they see this top rune, they might look for a quick re-engagement.
Oh, that double damage. They want it. Ame.
They're trying to keep VP suffocated in their base. You see, maybe X's himself goes bottom, clears the wave, and yeah, they want to keep fighting.
Get back to the base, VP. Get back to the fountain. You cannot dare come out.
They have to find more ways to keep farming, though. VP, they have to struggle to get outside to get this. I mean, MKB on Ramses. He needs it. He can't actually do any damage inside of the fights versus Ame until he gets that.
Radiant's top shrine has fallen.
And even then, still assuming it's so difficult for them versus PSG.LGD, as they're all rallied. Everyone just rallied together, not giving any opportunities for VP to even get a pick off. Pasha, be very careful how he does those type of plays.
An instant poke and the moonlight from LGD. They're starting to build up the money again on Arme.
Radiant's bottom
obviously, we're just holding that DD rune. He does still have a good slot to fill.
Probably likely to be the Abyssal. Maybe he's thinking, wait till I see what Ramses is building if I need to actually go for an MKB or something like that on myself as a PA. But the Abyssal is the more than likely one for that BKB Pierce.
What about the Nullifier?
His Nullifier could also have its argument, yeah. That's a good one. There's a lot of different varieties that he can go for.
Yeah.
EP, they've got this timing, so let's see if they can make anything happen of it with this MKB, as they will have some damage at least to go through the PA. But they don't have smokes. I don't believe they have any available. Oh no, they have one left on Roger, sorry.
Looks like he's, at the moment, he's queued up, he's going to go there with the Bloodthorn.
Okay. I seem to really like that item lately. Building up on that Sven in the last game versus some Morphling. This game, it's not as clear cut as not playing Morph, but still very good versus the Terrorblade, as he can also build versus a Butterfly. This is the way to kind of counteract both. As well as that evasion that will come out. Jump forward. Close those illusions quick.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Just really feels in both of these games, BP have been unable to make any sort of moves themselves in the second half of them.
Radiant's bottom
As this game, goes on 35 minutes in, it's just been pretty much nothing from VP. They're just trying to get the farm to a point where they can have a chance of defending their base.
But their base is getting shut down already. Losing another tier 3. PSG.LGD. They'll just continue. They're going to do the X. Quickly bring him back. Getting some tower damage as well. Arrow to scout.
How would you start this fight for your VP?
They don't have the natural forms of initiation. Pasha wants to, but like we said, he hasn't built any armor, and he now has the black has at least finished, but
Ramsey's
fairly squishy. Ramsey's
trying to get arrowed there.
The drafting panel was concerned that there were no.
I mean, he just gets out. And now he's asked Terrorblade to spend 36 minutes farming for that. He spent the whole game farming, and he gets hit by one arrow, and all that fight was for nothing.
And they're just going to keep diving forward here. Pasha, next up. He's at arrow, and he dropped down. And it just might be it. No, he's going to try to move forward.
But he does no damage.
They're coming up.
No damage. As LGD, they have really come into this first series of the TI9 main event with all guns blazing. Solo jumping. The ghost to Pasha trying to offer some sort of damage out there.
Cast upon the tide.
It's gone. Only that top lane still standing.
Completely in shambles after all that. Such a big deficit, and how much gold did they all just pick up there on the side of LGD? Like, everybody's finishing up their next item.
I mean, he's ready for the fun.
He's got the rapier.
He knows that this is in the bag.
So he heard our suggestions. He queued up the Bloodthorn. He's like, no. Maybe still
rapier. He's about to hit 25 as well, so he can get that triple dagger. Triple dagger with rapier. He's doing this one for the fans.
I have seen somebody else take the 10%, but he's going to take the triple dagger for this one. They're gonna get
into the rose, and they will still find it.
The arrow will connect onto Ram.
And listen up for Arrow Ramses. They can't forward up this time. They're there to solo. Jump in, he gets the stun off onto two of them. Cooldowns down, no one moves forward. PSG will back now. Go get the by the poison passion in with a jump advantage. Shadow Demon's dead. Buyback straight away. Roger on the back line with focus. Replay for. Get out of there. F1. He's collapsed upon Ramsey's 2 kills, double kill. There's no buyback on FY. VP had to buy back on both supports for this, but they're fighting back. Not to be held down. You can see Ivaname not invested in the rapier because he's. Are we fine? He's saving onto his money for now. He might resort to the safe play and just go, another fire and have buyback. We'll see how scared he is.
Maybe, we'll see. He's still feeling pretty confident.
They kick back.
They got the Aegis.
They kick back.
They got that Aegis and cheese. Very important for themselves here. But structural damage is still done, and that's while Chalice is dead. That's the big thing, right? Fighting into LGD's lineup when they run the Tide Hunter, it's a little bit easier. Especially because they can get them with the numbers and just get the surround without that Tide Hunter. But back to farming a little bit. He's
saving on so many. Obviously, there's not really too much point. I guess it's so farm that the buyback is still worth it, even if he loses a rapier.
Oh, now
he's going in. He's going in. He's got the rapier.
He's got buyback available.
Now this is exciting because if he loses that rapier, this
game could really turn.
That could be
if he loses it.
It could be a 50. I mean, they're feeling very confident, LGD, but there is that chance that if Arme loses the rapier, it ends up in the hands of no one. You never know.
Or in the hands of Ramses too. Either one of them.
But at the same time, if Challenge gets ravaged, it'll be more than enough time for him to jump from target to target. It's level 25 PA with the triple daggers and the Aghanim reset. He's just going to be cleaning up the entire squad.
Man, if he gets us an insta kill, like 6 daggers pretty much, right? The first kill, he'll throw another set of daggers.
Of course, yeah.
And if he gets a kill off a dagger, he'll be able to throw another triple dagger right away.
And another.
If he gets a couple chain kills, yep. And now he gets an arcane rune as well. So 4.2 second cooldown on dagger.
That's got an eagle song on.
Whoop, whoop. Oh, that's looking pretty dead.
That is very dead. Oh, that is an eagle song. That would have been Ramses. Very close to having a butterfly.
Who won't have buyback either. He has the Aegis for himself, but if he does die twice, no buyback. They're already starting to poke and prod.
I mean, it's testament to how tanky he is. You saw him just get hit by a dagger from a PA with a rapier. Well, obviously wasn't a crit. Not that much.
There's a lot of negative armor, though. I see the Solar Crush, they even take the Gush talent as well, I believe. Oh, no, he didn't. That was the last week, sorry. He didn't take the Gush talent this time, but so with Solar Crush as well as that Desolator, still a lot of magic physical armor reduction through. But yeah, 37 off team. And it looks like PSG.LGD still playing a little bit safe here, even though, I mean, I say safe, a little bit safe on the fact that the Aegis and the Cheese are on VP's hands, not in items. As, a DD rune. Having passed that 40-minute mark, We'll be seeing DDs aplenty.
Here we go. Give him the bottle.
Oh, yeah.
But this rune, this bottle double damage.
He's already critting for 2,600 right now.
Times that by 2.
It's not that how that works.
That's not how that works. Not because I wasn't ready to do the math, so that's fine.
That's without the Deso put in as well. So it's 2,600 when he's with the rune over 3,000. On if it's one of those like low physical armor heroes. Once it's the higher physicals, it's going to be a lot more reduced. But we'll see some big numbers.
Full Bloodthorn on Somnus, so we're going to see even more big numbers. Crits upon crits, Solo. He's going to look for the jump in. Passes there. She hits the clip, so won't be able to find Exova straight away. Gives Exova the time to pop the disruption. They take whole series and look close. This was LGD at another level. VP did not seem prepared.
No, PSG.LGD in this, I mean, they just seem to have their number. This Tidehunter just proving